Quite recently, the Liberian Journal published a story that was written by one Abraham Walker, and he accuses you of fomenting chaos in the Unity Party. That since your emergence from the Henry Family situation where you say he was your relatives and therefore cannot maintain his post for which he was elected, to creating alternative or parallel organizations in the United States to engage in a battle with Mr. Gaia family. And they listed a whole range of things that they find troubling in your leadership. How would you address that? What would be your reaction?
I'll just say the writer has just not done his homework. I'm not the man who is there to break up the Unity Party or to create confusion in the Unity Party. What am I going to gain by that? Am I competing with Gaia family? For what? We are not at the same level in anything. We are not fighting for anything. Even Henry family, we are not. So why would I want to go against them for the sake of going against them? Let's go back to Henry family. Article 79E of the Liberian Constitution says that no political organization by whatever name called, or let's put it this way, every political organization by whatever name called should ensure that the election of its officers are from as many regions of the Republic of Liberia as possible. I don't think Mr. Walker has ever read that provision of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Because it is that provision of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia that Henry family read that caused him to eventually renounce his election. Had we kept Henry family as Secretary General, inducted him into office, and went on as though nothing had happened. Come August, somebody went to the National Election Commission and said, disenfranchise Unity Party because for the last 10 months and 12 months, it has consistently violated the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, Article 79E. What we would have said, I, as a lawyer, found a problem with the election after it had happened because I knew the content of Article 79E. And I went ahead and proposed that either I or my relative, Mr. Henry family, both of us coming from the same county, renounce our position. The party decided it should be Henry family and not me. Now, is Mr. Walker saying that we should have continued in violation of the Constitution? Maybe that's the kind of person he is. That's not the kind of person I am. Now, when you come to the situation here in the United States with Gaia family, in November 2007, I think exactly November 26, 2010, not 2007, 2010, I was at a dinner at his house. At the end of the dinner, I read a statement. I call it a letter to Unity partisans of the United States. And I simply said to them, let us reorganize. Let us restructure ourselves so that the three political parties can be reflected in the Unity Party of the United States. It means that let's invite all of the people from the Liberian Action Party, all of the people from the Liberian Unification Party, all of the people from the Unity Party to come together, restructure, put in the new bylaws, new constitution, whatever it is, and elect officers. Just like we did in Liberia. Is something wrong with that? Is that the wrong thing to do? That, I believe, is the right thing to do. If it were the wrong thing to do, why did we do it in Liberia? All that has happened in the United States is that some people have decided that now is not the time to do it. They prefer to do it in 2012 or 2013 or whenever. Their assumption is, or their proposition is, that they have a term of office that has not yet expired. But the Constitution of Liberia also says, the same Article 79E, that every political organization must have election at least once every 6 years. When was Gaia family last elected? More than 6 years ago. So technically, he must subscribe to the, all of them must subscribe to the Constitution of Liberia to have an election at least what? Once every 6 years. So where is the problem? The problem is either you don't understand our law, you don't understand, or you don't understand that there has been a merger, or you don't understand that one of the natural flows from a merger is restructuring and reorganization of the surviving entity. And it's unfortunate that people who should be sophisticated live in this great United States of America where there is democracy. It's unfortunate that they wouldn't want to subscribe to democracy. Because democracy means what? At least at the minimum, a regular election of the officers.
Thank you. Now, I'm sure you've interacted with the leadership of UP Minnesota. You get a glimpse of some of the leadership, their players, their ideas, what they have. What is your impression of the team that were recently elected in Minnesota?
I don't think this is a time for assessment. No, this is not a time for assessment. The partisans have given them their confidence. Let us see the work that they do in the next couple of months. So then we'll be able to determine whether or not they are doing a good job. I don't think this is the time for assessment.
So since you've been here, you've not noticed anything, leadership strength, that so much that you just can mention it, or you've not?
I am impressed by the organization.
Okay.
All right. I know some of the individuals. The chairman, Henry Cllr, I've known him from way back there in Liberia. I think Henry Cllr was the chairman of the youth in the Unity Party back then. I think one or two occasions, even when I was in Liberian Action Party, he invited me to associate with them in some programs. So I know him personally. I know Kane and Gessin Kipo. I know several of them. So I know them from back there from doing things. But this is a new structure now, and a new circumstance, a new environment. And I like to see them performing as well as they did before, but now is not the time to evaluate them.
So, since you're not willing to evaluate them, what are you willing to share with us, your message for them today?
We have a lot of work to do. Our political party is the incumbent. And we are convinced, in fact, it is a matter of policy for us in the Unity Party, that for this election, come October 2011, we should win on the first ballot. An incumbent that goes to a second round, even when successful, there's a dent in your credibility, and of course, it may affect your capacity to perform. We want to win this election on the first round. It means that we must work hard. Take nothing for granted. As good as we may have been, as popular as we may be, we still need to work very hard. We still need to go out there and canvass with our people and make them realize that this government, the continuation of this government is important, very important for us to continue the transformation of our country. This is extremely important to us, and we need to work very hard. It means that from here, whatever they can do to mobilize support, financial, material, and even to canvass with the eligible voters in Liberia, for them to canvass with them, for them to vote for our party come October 2011. That's very, very important, and we need to be able to work very, very hard on that.
So you think President Cllr will be re-elected?
I'm convinced about that. Come on, what do you think? I'm so convinced about that. But again, with all of my optimism, if you know anything about what's going on in Liberia, you know we are working very hard. We are putting all of our energies and all of our resources and all of our intellect in making sure that she's successful. Not only that we win the presidential election, but we also win the legislative election. We need to have a smooth sailing for the next 6 years.